Welcome back to Fine Art Diary. This is going to be a detailed tutorial on painting wet rocks on moving water. This is a series of 3 tutorials and this is the third one of that. In the first one, we did the blocking of the entire scene. In the second one, we added the detailing to the stones. In case if you have missed it, the links are given in the description. You can check. And in this particular tutorial, I am going to paint the flowing water. So let's start the painting. In our last tutorial, we left the painting over here and now we are going to paint the flowing water. We are going to concentrate on this particular area. And the water surface is coming like this from here. Through the stones it's coming downward. And because of that the entire surface is wet and the entire sky is reflecting on that surface. And it is very glossy like this particular stone. So this one will be very reflective and we are going to paint next. I am starting with the darker mixture once again and I am painting some intermediate planes in between the shadow planes and the light planes. We need to paint the underneath surface before adding the water flow on the top of it. Once again coming back to the cool reflective planes, and because of these planes only the surface will appear reflective. Going back to the local color of the stone, and this step I am going to do before the glossy planes. So over here you can see my blocking was absolutely fine. Now if your painting is a little bit larger, then only you are going to add this detailing, otherwise up to the blocking stage it was absolutely fine. The brush strokes of the initial stage will look much more mature than the tiny brush strokes of the painting. So I will definitely prefer to keep some of the initial brush marks what we painted in the beginning, so that it can create a beautiful balance of bigger brush strokes and smaller brush strokes. As I was discussing previously, we can create texture of the stones with this kind of brush strokes. One thing is very important while painting. Very often we have to step back and see the painting, and then only you are going to see the right effect you are creating on the canvas. So right now what I am painting, if you see in a close-up shot, you can see some brush strokes, but if you step back, you will come to know like I have created all the glossy area of that stone. And if you feel like you cannot step back because of various reasons, maybe you don't have enough space behind you, then one option is there and that is squinting. So just squint your eyes and you will come to know what you are going to see while looking at the painting at a distance. Extreme bright areas are always very cool, we can remember that. some reflections on the water surface I am painting you can see in this area. Alright, now I am going to concentrate on this particular stone. I fear the tutorial is going to be very long, but as some of you suggested that you want longer tutorial, so I am keeping everything how it has to be so that you people can paint along with me. The brush I am using right now is an angular brush, and you have seen me painting with this brush in many of my paintings. You can see it is having a sharp corner also, and you can give flat brush strokes also, and that is the reason while creating this kind of stone texture or the ripple marks on the water surface, this brush can be very much useful. You can notice in this area that I am following a particular direction of the water flow, and that way I am placing my brush strokes. So far it's fine. Now in this particular area there will be less detailing because it is going away from the camera, and as I was discussing previously, I am going to maintain that. Most of the time it is recommended to paint directly from nature because you can see the real phenomena happening for the light. But nowadays photography is so advanced, it can capture a great deal of detailing, at least how much detailing we need for a painting. So there is no harm painting from a photograph. But if we are painting directly from the nature, that is altogether a different habit, and it can enhance our capacity to perceive a particular object. At the same time, if possible, the photograph has to be taken by the artist only. Every time it will not be possible, we have to take references from different places. But if you are painting something to exhibit, it is always better to take the photograph by the artist only. You must have noticed over here that I am dealing with 3 layers right now. The first one is I am enhancing the local color in some of the areas. Second is I am painting the glossiness of some of the areas or some of the planes. And the third thing is I am depicting some of the highlights. So these 3 layers I am painting right now. Over here you can notice that how I am connecting the stone shapes together with the help of the strokes of the water surface. This is something can be done in many areas. Suppose you are painting a grassy land and over there you are adding some rocky shapes or some stones. So with the help of the grass plane you can connect all the scattered stone shapes. This is the way we can establish a beautiful abstract composition. So our approach to a naturalistic painting should not be only a mere representation, but also the goal should be a beautiful abstract painting. If you are listening to me in this particular area, here is one announcement that if you are having any question related to art practice, related to artist life, just let me know. You can write down the questions in the comment box. I will make a separate video for that, and your comment will really be helpful for me to choose the topics for that. You can see in this area how I am using both the sides of this brush. So I am using the angular side of it and I am also using the flat side of it. With the same brush I am getting the linear strokes, some points, some shapes, and that's why I love this brush very much. Now let's concentrate on this particular area because this area is left in this painting. This particular rock is going to reflect on this plane, and that's what I am going to do right now. It is also going to establish the glossiness of this particular plane. Every inch of a canvas is very important, and we should take care of each and every corner, each and every area of a painting. This area is actually inside the water surface, and that is the reason I am making this area a little bit darker, and also neither it is getting the direct light nor it is getting the indirect light. Now painting the sky reflection. So two things are happening on the water surface. One is the direct sky reflection on the water surface, and second is the reflection of the stones on the water surface. So both we need to consider. So the shadow part I am not painting anymore because we already have done it in the initial block-in, and now I am only painting the reflections on it. And definitely it is going to suggest the transparent water surface. These are some random brush strokes. I am just following the direction of the water flow. This is the mid-tone I am painting, and on the top of it the highlight is going to come. So over here you can see I am giving the hints of another stone underneath the water surface in this area, and definitely that is affecting the water flow, and the water flow is changing its direction in this. I am mixing a darker mixture what I was using for the shadow and going to re-establish some of the shadow patterns. That's looking fine. Now it's the time to go back to the highlights. This time the mixture is quite bright and cool in tone. I'm trying to find the places where it is directly catching the light from the skybounds, and that will appear very bright, and at the same time I should not cover the entire area. Now gradually I will return to these pockets and will paint the water reflection. So this particular stone is submerged in the water, and you can see just by giving a couple of lines you can depict that. Again, a couple of highlights, only here and there I am just touching the brush. So exactly the same thing I am going to do for this area also. First the mid-tone of the reflection and then a couple of highlights. Now it's time for this pocket. So I am not leaving any of the areas untouched in this painting because each area is similarly important. But I am going to do the same, first mid-tone then highlight. The concept is very simple to remember. Now we are going to paint some reflections on the flat surface of the water. Because previously, if you can remember, I painted only the underwater shadow part of it, and now depicting the reflection so that it will give the sense of the upper surface of the water. Definitely, this is also the reflection of the sky, and it is going to be cool. That's absolutely fine. Now I am going to connect these two shapes. The concept I was discussing before some time, how we can connect multiple stones together, and with the same concept I am going to connect this. Because that is at a distance, I will avoid giving sharp lines and I will dissolve any sharp lines like that. In this area also I am showing the change of the plane, and definitely it will affect the water flow, and that is what I am doing right now. The fingertips are some beautiful tools to dissolve some of the sharp edges, and you can see I am using it again and again. Because of that slope, the water is falling down, and that is the reason we are getting these splash marks. So I am just giving the direction of the water flow, and the water always will have a certain pattern, and we just need to recognize that pattern and need to paint it spontaneously. Again, we are going towards the edge of the painting, and I am not going to add too much of detailing in this area. This is the last area I have to add the reflection. I really took lots of time to add detailing to this painting, and intentionally I did it because I wanted to show you how much patience you need to complete an artwork. To be very honest, as a tutorial it is looking a little bit longer, but while painting a finished piece of art, we have to give even more time until unless we are satisfied enough with the final output. I am towards the end of this painting, only going to paint a couple of highlights here and there. So I am creating a kind of movement in this area. Alright, we are done with this painting, and here are some close-up shots you can see. Hope you enjoyed today's session, and don't forget to subscribe the channel because many more tutorials are coming in future. Thank you very much for watching.